Hello, and welcome to Financial Freedom for the Average Person. Uh, I am Vincent, and if you haven't seen any classes for posts for the last week, well, I've been up in Alaska on a cruise because that's what you can do in retirement if you watch your money well. Anyway, so this class, or what we're going to talk this session, is more about expenses. We'll be doing this a lot, and I'm going to attack a lot of the major expenses that everyone tends to have. In this one, we're going to talk about reassessing your auto insurance, and I'll share with you some of the things that I do. All right, this is one of those necessary evils. And anymore, the auto insurance companies are tied so closely to the state and licensing. You just got to, stay up on it, and it pays to drive well, and watch for your speed and things like that. And what I've seen over the years is insurance companies. There used to be a thing. You know how you boil a frog? Okay, you put it in cold water and then you slowly turn up the heat. That's what the auto insurance companies do. They get you on a good rate and they'll slowly start raising your rates. And the only way to break that is to shop around a little bit. Now, there's a couple of things you can do to save money right off the bat. In the state of Florida, for example, if you do an online driving safety class, and I think if you're over 50, don't hold me to that, and the class costs you 20 bucks, 25 bucks, something like that, in that line, then state law requires that your auto insurance company reduces your rates by 10%. Also, your driving habit monitoring. All of the main auto insurance companies now either have an app or a device you put in your car, and they say it will not increase your rates at all, but can decrease your rates by up to 30%. And I actually have seen that with a couple of the different agencies, and that's very, very helpful. Of course, getting in an accident, comprehensive usually will not, if you hit a deer, that won't necessarily impact your insurance. If your window gets busted, that won't impact your insurance. But if you hit somebody or you get a speeding ticket, that will indeed impact your rates. So, how much car insurance do you need? Right? Obviously, you got to have a state minimum, and that is reported by the insurance companies to the state. And if you fail to have that, the state will do things like revoke your driver's license. I got close to doing that one time. It was a mistake on the insurance company's part, but it took no time at all for the state of Florida to let me know that in 14 days I was no longer going to have a license. So be aware. Now, the limits I carry, and I've got them listed here, I carry high limits, and your bodily injury liability, that'll be the most expensive, property damage, uninsured motorist. Sometimes I have that, sometimes I don't. Medical payments, and that's interesting. That's medical payments toward you or anyone in your car if there's an accident. So, I think at this point, I think I only have 1,000 on that. Comprehensive, I always maintain a zero deductible in case I do hit that deer or I do get my windshield cracked. Uh, then I can, get that replaced. Nothing out of pocket. Collision, I'm doing 500 deductible. It really is, your call. Uh, the, uh, the comprehensive has very little impact on your rates, maybe $1 or $2 a month, going between 500 and nothing. Collision is significantly more. So depending on what you want to do, what you're comfortable with, and how much money you've got at the time or put back, what you should consider. Okay, so I want to go right into our next exercise. And exercise 10, it's about reassessing your auto insurance. So take a look at your auto insurance policy, and also you can change your auto insurance policy anytime during the period that you have it. I renew on a 6-month period, which is kind of typical. But when I change, if I'm only 1 month into it or if I'm 5 months into it, I'll get reimbursed for whatever I don't use. So it's really no requirement for you to wait until the end. Of course, you can also check at any time and then tie that to the end of your current policy. That also is doable. You may want to take a look at the coverages that I gave you before if you want just a starting point, to consider, and then go from there. Now, one of the things that I've done successfully a few times is I've actually just contacted my current insurance company. It was USAA for most of my life. It is not right now. And just asked if, hey, can I want to lower my premium? What can I do? And often they're going to say, well, you can move this deductible, do this, add another coverage on another property, move something around, and you can get that to go down. One time, to get the insurance to go lower, I insured some coins I had. Okay, and I insured them for I think $4,000, and it was ridiculously low cost. It was like $15 a year, but it lowered my car insurance by $50 every 6 months. So it's like, what the heck? Just go for it. It is quite a game that you get into with this. So it's always worthwhile to take a look and then see what is out there at the current time, what's being offered. All right. So for comparing auto insurance, all right, there's a whole lot of different online services that you can use. Insurify, NerdWallet, the Zebra, and Compare.com. That's what Google popped up with real quick. I've used NerdWallet and I've used the Zebra. I have not tried Insurify or Compare.com, but worth taking a shot. Then when you're going to search for insurance, auto insurance, and you're going to need an afternoon to go through everything if you're going to do it well. Because a lot of these, like bulk group rates, aren't going to cover all of the insurance companies. So you may want to go off and contact some directly. But go through a shopping service, My Points, or another shopping service like Capital One Shopping, something like that. Get something for even doing the search. And if you do make the switch, you'll get a little bit back that way. Always good. Check with friends and family. Find out who they're using and their horror stories and things like that. And it's always cheaper to bundle. So what did I find? Okay, so I went to the Zebra, and I'd used them before. I went through, and they gave me quite a list of different insurance companies. The Geico was at 244 as the first one. Mercury Insurance was the lowest, 151 a month. So Geico 244 a month, Mercury 151 a month. There was some higher than Geico. Geico's I like the Gecko. So many other options out there. Now, what do I got? Okay, so my current insurance is with Allstate, and I pay $40 a month. Now, I don't drive the car a lot because I'm usually traveling and things like that. But Allstate works with me, and again, as that starts creeping up, I'll start looking around. And when you go and you start getting into things, that the agents will work with you because they want the commission off your insurance. One other note here: if there's some people, military people, there are people that have USA insurance, then you have a subscriber account. Every year you get a certain amount paid into that subscriber account. And that is there just to protect the insurance company if they have like a hurricane or something, they have major payouts. This is kind of their bulk money. But when you leave the insurance portion of USAA, not the banking, just the insurance, and you have no longer any insurance with that, after 6 months, whatever you have in your subscriber account will pay out to you. So the first time I did this many years ago, and it was similar. I switched from USA to Allstate. I ended up getting a payout of about $3,000 or $4,000, which was a nice little hunk of cash. And then right now I've switched. I went right back to USA about a year later because they were the cheapest. And then USA creeped up over a number of years, and now I'm out of USA again, and I'm over in Allstate. So those are games that you play. But again, it's awareness. The boiled frog. If you're sitting in the water, you're not paying attention, you're going to get cooked. So, well, that's what I got on car insurance, and then go on to the next one later in the week. Hope everyone has a wonderful day.